Hey, what's up guys, TotallyDubbed here, and today I'm doing a video review on the Sumvision Sonic keyboard. Now it is an RGB membrane keyboard, but has like a mechanical-esque feel to it. Now the keyboard can be found for around £27 on Amazon.co.uk. Link will be down in the description in case you're interested. I'd like to thank Sumvision for actually sending me out for a review as well. I've reviewed quite a lot of their products. I'm very much impressed with most of them, so I was very much intrigued to see how this budget keyboard would do. Now within the packaging you get the keyboard and you get a set of manuals. Now surprisingly, yes, the manuals are actually quite useful. So first of all, you've got, within the manual you'll be able to see these selected keys. Now these selected keys are the ones which are anti-ghosting. In other words, you can use them at the same time without worrying of them not being pressed. So it's good to have that. On the other side, you've actually got a huge number of I would say like bullet points, but these are like combinations of lighting modes, which I'll go through them in just a second. Now the keyboard itself has a few different functionalities, and first of all let's talk about its build quality. Now it's terminated by a USB which is braided with a kind of almost like a serpent-esque black and red colour. It comes out on the top right hand side, and there's one of the keys falling out, which I popped out by the way. And yeah, underneath you've got keyboard risers which are pretty much standard, and they've got grip, a little bit of grip on them as well in order to prevent them from sliding, and you've got the grips on the side as well there. You've also got a cable management system through here, which is a very nice addition to have, especially at this price point. The keyboard has a little bit of flex, but very little, but it's very well built. It's made out of plastic. It has a I would want to say a matte-esque finish to it, a almost brushed aluminium, not brushed aluminium, but it's just a brushed grey-black colour to it. On the top right hand side you've got the LEDs indicating if you've got num lock, scroll lock or caps lock on or off. Now within the keyboard itself you've got a few different functionalities, and that all comes down with the FN key. So with the FN key you can control the F keys up the top, and you can mute your music, you can play pause, skip previous, open emails, home, do a Windows lock, and even open up a calculator. The functionalities are very much useful over here, and given its price tag again of £27, I'm very much intrigued and I'm very much impressed to see them actually included. Now as you can see, the keyboard is illuminated. It has a mini little wrist rest over here, which makes it comfortable for typing. It's not overly large, which makes it useful. You've got a Sumvision logo over here, which is always lit, even though you switch off the LEDs like that. And yes, it's a one-touch button over there to switch off the LEDs in case it's at night time, you prefer not having them on. Now the LEDs are actually one of the key selling points of this keyboard, given its actual price. Now you've got loads of different functionalities, which I'm not going to go in full depth to them, but they're really much controlled by pressing the FN key and the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9. Now what's quite intriguing is that all these different modes have different functionalities. You can control the LEDs which are being displayed. For example, you've got this wave at the moment. If I go FN left, the wave will go left. If I go FN right, which I can't right now, it will go towards the right. So it's just it's a good customized feel that you can do through them, and you can even go, I think it's FN7, and you can customize the lighting per section, which is actually quite cool. So there you go, like I'm customizing the color right there, and if I go with FN top, it changes the color on the left hand side. So very much customizable, very nice to have, and all the different functionalities actually work. Now the FN8 key means that it's reactive. You can see it feels like it's having a bit of a trauma. Unfortunately, it's not like other keyboards I've come across where it feels like more responsive, like a wave, and that is because they're not individually lit keys. They're lit per section, and that's why you see this sort of effect. Now one of the key seller points is the fact that it's got a little microphone within the keyboard, meaning it can listen to music. Now on the FN9, if I just do this, you can see it reacting. Now I felt that the reaction, and you can see it there as I am talking, the reaction is decent, but unfortunately I feel that it looks like it's having like a like a sort of fit of some sort. The keyboard goes a bit crazy, and the lights just flash in all different ways. Now it does pick up music pretty well, but even though the advertised like equalizer-esque thing, it doesn't quite work because the keys are not individually lit, and because they're not individually lit, you don't get this nice sort of real EQ type look to it. Instead, you get this kind of flashy mob going on the keyboard, and it means that it looks a bit disorientated. Sorry. So I wouldn't really suggest it for that, but it's a cool function to have nevertheless, and given the fact of its price, I'm still impressed. Let alone just having one functionality, let alone 9, is top marks to Sumvision. Now the keys themselves are reasonably well made. They have a solid stem over here. It's not like an MX switch. It's pretty empty over here, so in other words the LED shines through. Now if I just zoom just a little bit in, you'll be able to see the stem just a little bit better. If I also switch off the lights over there, you'll be able to see it. You can see the stem is like that, so there's a membrane rubber dome in there, and the stem just basically clicks in. Now the keys can be removed with a key remover or key puller, shall I say, but they're not exactly MX or mechanical keyboard switches, meaning that well, you can't change them, let's put it that way. Anyway, the keyboard itself feels nice, but now let me just go a little bit quiet and actually go ahead and type. Now the keyboard actually feels really nice to type on, let alone game on. I feel that the keys are just right in terms of their actuation point, and it just feels quite soft, but despite having that sort of soft feel, it has this mechanical-esque switch to it. So I would say it almost feels like an MX Red. It feels soft, but it does have that little, almost like a little bit of a tactile bump of an MX Brown. So really nice feel to it, very much impressed about that. Now I do notice that when I was typing, you have a sort of spring back of the spacebar, and that can annoy a lot of people, and that's just to do with build quality more than anything. The springs are good in terms of pressing them on the left or on the right, but it does also mean that you hear this, which is kind of annoying if you're a fast typer and constantly hitting that really hard. So do bear that in mind if you're going to be getting this keyboard. Other than that, guys, the actual keyboard is very much impressive. Given its price tag of £27, I must say it's very little that this keyboard does wrong. In fact, there's almost nothing apart from that spacebar sound that the keyboard does wrong. Its price point is right, it's got the LED colors, the build quality is decent. It doesn't require any extra software or anything like that. You've got loads of controls and customizability. You can access your media keys and even sort of shortcuts through there. You've got the anti-ghosting for the gaming, and for £27 again, you're not going to find many keyboards that can compete with it. So for that, guys, I must say it's a really top recommendation from me. Make sure you check it out if you're looking for a budget keyboard, say under 30 quid. There's definitely a go-to keyboard. Feels like a mechanical keyboard, but it isn't. And one final thing I must say, if you are in the UK, you'll be pleased to know it does come in a UK layout. However, you'll notice the spacebar is the US layout spacebar, which can be annoying for some people, including myself. I found it a little bit annoying because I'm quite used to tapping the spacebar with my little finger over here, and it felt a little bit unnatural where it was a smaller sort of surface area. So do bear that in mind. But it's got a UK pound over here, as you can see. Well, you can't see it right now, but it works flawlessly, and it's the UK layout there. Anyway, guys, I've been Totally Dubbed. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. Make sure you give it a like, comment, subscribe, favorite, and share with your friends and family, as it always helps the channel grow. And let me know in the comments below what you think of the keyboard. Alright, guys, I've been Totally Dubbed. Take care, and bye bye.